All right, another way not to sell more insurance is to never. Hey, how's it going, guys? Dan Kitajima here, back with another episode of How to Win in the Insurance Business. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something maybe I don't talk enough about, which is insurance sales. Because let's face it, we need to sell policies to be able to grow our insurance agencies and to make commissions if you're a producer. So it's a very important subject that I want to start talking a little bit more about. I had a meeting with my team. I introduced with them a concept of Invergent Thinking, which is to find a problem so that way we could find a solution. So I presented into the meeting in a way where I was trying to explain to them how to sell less insurance. And by finding out how we could do that, we could find out what we need to do, which is the opposite to sell more insurance. So let's get started here. All right, the first way to how to sell less insurance is to have no idea of what they want. Some of my producers have been in the situations where they're on the phones working on a quote and just get right into the questions that we need to get to be able to generate a quote. But never during the conversation, we're really understanding what they truly want. A lot of times we'll get into the mistake of just assuming it's about price, which is a big mistake. Really finding out what they want. I try to tell them and remind them that to be able to close them, we have to open them. And finding out what they want, we could do that by asking great questions and being a great listener. One of the questions that we like to ask is, can I ask you about your current insurance situation, or can I ask why you're shopping around? These are great questions to try to open them up. And the things that I hate to hear is, can I ask why you're shopping around? You're just trying to look for a lower price, where we assume that. It's just a big no-no at my agency. So we cannot assume that it's about price. And we really want to understand what they want, because it's really not about selling them. It's more about helping them buy. And we have to figure it out. Even if it is about price, people want to feel understood. So we want to clarify why they're shopping around. And then also emphasize their pain point too. Yeah, I understand that you're paying a lot. That's very unfortunate. Let me try to see if I can help you out. Or it could be because they just had a bad claim service, a bad customer service experience. You want to exaggerate that pain and clarify with them, so you could use that angle to try to close them later on in the conversation. Oh, wow, that's so terrible. They didn't call you when they're about to cancel. Our agency definitely does that. Depending on what they say, you want to tell them the benefit of switching to us, instead of just us randomly saying things that may not have any value to them. Hey, we have no broker fees, but they didn't even had any experience of having broker fees or getting ripped off or anything like that, or the price changing. And it is a little hard for some clients or prospects for them to open up. So it really takes a good communication method of having them comfortable to giving you information. So asking great questions, building rapport, and really finding out what they want is step number one to me. All right, the next thing to how to sell less insurance. This is a great one. This will definitely work, is don't care about them at all. So the opposite of that is obviously care about them. People are going to understand that you're really looking out for their best interests. And when you don't do that, they're not going to really convert or connect with you. So don't care about your commission. Don't care about your stats. Instead, truly care about them, because people buy from people who care about them. One of the things that we could do by caring about them is just, again, being a good listener. I think when you care about somebody, you want to make them feel good. So some of the things you can make them feel good is by thanking them right off the bat. Hey, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to quote your insurance needs. Also, compliment them when you can. It's all about being likable, but if there's a certain neighborhood they live in that you kind of like, or if they have a nice car or they have a nice house, or if they're buying a house, these are really great ways to compliment them. It's making them laugh, telling them they're smart. Be concerned about them, maybe, if they have low coverage, but really caring about them and looking out for their best interest. I think that's really the biggest things that the great insurance agents do, is they just love people and they want to help people. They're going to understand that, and people are going to want to do business with people that really are looking out for them. Just have to generally start from really caring about them and not trying to do this for your commission. All right, next is be boring. All right, being boring is a great way not to sell insurance. You just answer the phone call, no enthusiasm. Just ask the basic questions, give them the price. I think that's a great way for them to say, I'm not interested, because, you're not interesting. So instead, you want to try to be somebody you want to have a conversation with. I know they're just want to get an insurance quote. They don't want to become your friend, but still you're going to find opportunities within the conversation to build rapport, say something memorable. Just generally having energy is going to help. Sustaining that energy and being consistent for every day, every month, every year. It's just going to come down to taking care of yourself, and protecting your energy. So you got to have a good attitude. You got to eat well. You got to work out. You got to exercise somewhat. And I feel like you have to get good sleep. That's what I tell my team all the time. And just having enthusiasm about your job, that by itself is going to help out a lot when it comes to sales. Another way to sell less insurance is don't establish that you're a pro. People want to do business with, like, if you were to try to get, surgery, you want to go with a doctor that's done it tens of thousands of times. You don't want to find a doctor that you're the first person they are going to operate on. So people want to work with pros, and we have to establish that we're a pro somewhere in the conversation. Great ways to do that is to, go over the coverage in detail. So you're advising them, not advising them, but consulting them, letting them know the consequences of what could happen if you didn't get this coverage, and really letting them know that you know what you're doing. You could give them a lot of options. I think that helps. You give them a little subtle recommendations when you see something that's, to have low coverage, or if they have a low deductible. You don't want to sound like you're bragging, but you let them know in a subtle way that you do have experience, or you've been selling a lot of policies, or you've seen this situation or that situation, or if you know information about a competitor. Do your homework so you understand the industry and what's going on. Let them know that, if you did just sell a policy with certain coverage, just like right before they call them, say, hey, I'm so sorry, I was just finishing up setting up someone else's policies. But just giving them and letting them know that you know what you're doing is going to help establish you're a pro, because nobody wants to buy from a rookie. And even if you are a rookie, you want to, let them know that you're busy, you're hardworking, you're committed to your profession in some certain way, somewhere in the conversation during the quote, and then that will help out your closing ratio. All right, another way not to sell more insurance is to never cross-sell. Cross-selling is the biggest competitive advantage, at least at the company that I represent, that we have to sell bigger premium policies. It's not like we kind of want to, it's kind of like we have to sell these policies. You got to understand your company's competitive advantage, and if you're offering them more coverage, such as giving them renter's insurance or homeowner's insurance or life insurance, and then taking advantage of the multi-policy discount, that's really how we could get more policies, depending on what company you represent. But if your company has the multi-policy discount, not cross-selling is really what amateurs do, and professionals will be always doing that. It's almost like having a cheat code. I'm not sure if you guys have played some video games in the past, but certain video games, when I was a kid, there was a cheat code. You press some code in a certain way, it's with certain timing, and it gives you more points. If you know the cheat code, then it's your advantage to use it to make your game easier for you. So I feel like even though we have this cheat code, we know what the cheat code is, some of us aren't using it, especially because, we get paid off premium. We want to have these bigger premium policies with a multi-car household. And those are really the policies I really want to go after and have a good closing ratio with. So not cross-selling is definitely a great way to not sell as much insurance as you can. So start cross-selling if you're not already. Next is not assuming the sale. Sometimes, us agents, for some reason, we're thinking negatively sometimes, which is not good for sales, but we're not positive enough, or we're not optimistic enough to think that this person is going to buy the policy. I don't know, for some reason, we almost like unsell it ourselves. I could hear it in someone's voice after presenting the price. Maybe they're thinking, wow, this is kind of a lot. And they're just not assuming it all the way through towards a sale. Just assume the sale, go towards the sale, and see what happens. If they give you the objection, that's a great thing, because you actually will understand why they're not buying from you, or why they're stalling. Sometimes if you're getting off the phone call and you have no idea why they didn't buy from you, that means you didn't do a good enough job of connecting with them. Assume that they're going to get it until they say, for some reason, no, and then try to find out what that reason is. I could sometimes hear in the tone of voice, or I could sometimes hear where it's just enthusiasm is lacking at the end of the sale when it was good in the beginning. We want to just stay very positive and just think that they're going to buy the sale, get the policy, even though the last 5 closes were no's, and that's going to happen because you could be truly a superstar in this business if you sell 2 or 3 out of 10. So you're not going to, even if you are the best salesperson in the whole world, you're still not going to sell probably more than 3 out of 10. If you sell 1, you're no good. 2, you're probably you're good enough. 3, you're an absolute superstar. But there's only a fine line between making you great and not great. So a lot of times it's just your attitude and your positive thinking, because they are going to have doubts. So your certainty has to overcome their doubts. If you don't really believe in the value of what you're offering, and if you feel like, hey, 20, 30, 50 more dollars a month is so much more, If you're cheap yourself, that's going to come across. So if you have to really assume the sell that it is a good, there's no reason they shouldn't get it until they tell you otherwise. And when they do tell you otherwise, that's a great thing because then you can overcome their objection. Oh, I get it. Okay, because of this, you're not going to buy it now. Okay, let's do this. Hey, I have to talk to my spouse. Okay, that's great. When are you going to talk to her? They'll tell you the reason if you assume the sell why they aren't going to get it. But sometimes we're not going for the close. We're just giving them the price and just not saying anything. We have to just lead them to the sell and then see what happens and adjust accordingly. The next one is not believing in the product, yourself, or the agency, just not having any belief. And again, this ties into not assuming the sell, very similar to that, but you really want to believe that the company that you represent or you're offering is a good option for them, that your agency is a great place with great customer service, that you are a great fit for them because you're a great insurance agent and you believe in your work ethic, you believe in your service abilities, and just overall belief as a solution to their issue. So a lot of times it just comes down to, again, how much your certainty can overcome their doubts. So if you are working at a great insurance agency, you have the right training, if you are selling quality insurance companies, just to higher your belief level of your operation, that's just going to help you close more business because you truly are going to believe that they should get insurance from you. And the more you believe that, that certainty is going to translate or that's going to be communicated through them. Just a super important one, not believing in the product, not believing in the company, not believing in yourself, not believing in your agency. That's a great way not to sell more insurance. Believe in yourself, that you are a winner and you are going to be successful in the insurance industry and you're really helping out people. And then that will help you close more deals. Another great way to not sell that much insurance is to sell the price. The price is literally the last thing, the least favorite thing about the whole buying process. If you're selling a vacation, you don't want to talk about that you had to get up early, you have to go through, TSA. That's what they don't want to hear. And as insurance agents, sometimes we're just using the price only as our sell. This is the price, this is the price, this is the price. But that's literally the last thing they want to think about. So we want to sell the vacation, which is, hey, you're going to end up being on a beach sipping your favorite drink. So with us insurance agents, hey, you're going to get this over with. You're going to have me as your insurance agent. You're going to have a peace of mind that this company is going to represent you. If you ever need anything, you could always contact me. Here's my cell phone number. You could text me. The claims number is this. And you want to just sell the vacation, which is basically a peace of mind that they're going to be protected with the company you represent and with you as your insurance agent. Sell what they want to happen, not what they don't want to do. All right, the next one is not making them in decision-making mode. There's a lot of different type of buyers out there, and many of them are going to have a hard time making decisions because they feel like they're making the wrong one. So what I like to tell my producer is to help them get in decision-making mode. And the way I like to do that is to just giving them a lot of options, but because people like options, and maybe you think that giving them too many options will be too difficult, but it's actually making it easy for them to make the ultimate decision, which is to buy with you or not. So for example, would you like to see this deductible or would you like to see this deductible? Okay, which one are you leaning towards? Do you want it with rental car, without rental car, with uninsured motorist coverage or not? Having them make these mini decisions, and then whatever decision they make, you want to compliment them. Hey, that's a great idea. You never know what could happen. I like the liability limit at that level. You're helping them making these decisions rather than just presenting them with a quote and say, hey, you want to buy it or not? Because they feel like you're just putting them on the spot. But if you're helping them make these mini decisions, they're gonna a little bit feel more comfortable of what they're purchasing, and people just don't want to buy anything that they don't understand. And then also making them feel that everything is not final. As their financial situation changes, they could increase their coverage, or decrease their coverage, or go over things. So letting them know that whatever you choose right now, it's not like they have to stick with that for 6 months or the whole year. They could literally start the policy today and then make the change the next day. Get the fear out of having them make the buyer's remorse out of their system by being very open to letting them know they can make changes anytime. They're the ones determining what type of coverage they have. Helping them make these mini decisions will help them make the final decisions, which is to buy from you. All right, and there's a lot more here, such as not following up, not using your lead management system, not writing down notes, not asking for referrals. A lot of things that you could do. If you really want to sell, you could get it, but following up, putting the effort, using your lead management system, these are all things that we have to do to get sales, and not using these tools that we have, not following up consistently is a great way not to get any sales. And then also not being a competitor, not being coachable, not being humble, not being likable. I think these are great ones too because in sales it's a competitive thing. You want to win, and then also to balance that, you want to have humility, understanding that this game there's so many different levels to it that if you ever feel like, hey, I know it all, I don't need any sales coaching, I don't need to get better, that's a great way not to get any more sales. Okay, so if you really want to get better at sales, you want to be a competitor, you want to win, you want to be coachable, and most importantly, you want to be likable. Okay, people are just going to buy more from people they like. It's a great game. It's all based on merit. People are going to be better than others, but it just comes down to your hustle, your determination, and your motivation and your consistency. So these are all things I really believe in. So if you are wanting to succeed in the insurance business, you gotta get at sales some way, somehow. So hope this video sells by understanding how not to sell more insurance. You understand how to be able to sell more insurance by doing the opposite things. Try these tips, assume to sell, believe in yourself, cross sell. Hope this helps. Share it with your producers. And yeah, if it brought any value to you, please subscribe to my channel. And I like to see all you guys winning out there in the insurance business. So keep in touch. Stay hungry. Let's get it.